Powhatan are going to be growing most of their diet. Corn, beans, and squash are going to be grown in acres of farmland surrounding the town. And it's going to be a major part of their diet, but a lot of that needs to be protected. So it's going to be the job of the women usually to be the farmers, but the kids have to help out too. And so that's what that structure back there is. That's what's called a scarecrow house. And to be the job of the children, usually the young boys, somewhere between 6 or 12 or somewhere around there, to sit up there with a bow and arrow and watch over the farmland. And if they saw any animals trying to eat the crops, it'd be their job to shoot at them with that bow and arrow and practice their archery at the same time. So not only are they preparing for adulthood by practicing the archery, but they're also helping to save the crops. So once you have all that food, you need a place to store it. So why don't we come in here and take a look around, take a look, and then walk out the other side of the door, and then meet me on the roof.
You had to be short. Being short was in dancing. Look around those eyes. Now understand. Look around this way. Look at this way.
You're gonna have to step down. Be careful.
Does this have satellite TV?
The hatch. Maybe, yeah.
Direct TV.
I don't have to step down. Slouch.
Yeah. Road bridge. Of course, the Jamestown settlement here in Jamestown, Virginia.
So they asked about him, and he called us. They said, a raccoon and opossum. And over time, the A got dropped in front of raccoon, and some people still say possum to this day. So those words originally from the Powhatan language. But yeah, you see, pardon? Center fire, yeah. But we talk about all these animals that are all around here. The Powhatan are going to have to get them from somewhere. They can't just buy them off the internet like we did. But what they're going to do is they're going to actually be hunting for them. And they're going to hunt generally in the late fall and the early winter, that kind of period. And it's generally going to be the men that are going to be the hunters. And when I say the men are going to be hunting, I don't mean the men will be going out into the woods with a can of beer and a shotgun. What I mean is it's almost like a military expedition to kill as many of these animals as they can to feed their families and their tribes. And it's going to be also a cultural event that will happen every year as well. The English do say the Powhatan will shoot a deer when they see one, but they'll go out actively looking for one at that single time. And so that's going to make a good chunk of your diet, deer and bear and turkey and all kinds of different animals. But what about other times of the year? How else might you be getting animals other times of the year? Trap them, but what are you going to be trapping?
Squirrel?
Squirrel, okay, so a lot of other land animals certainly, but how else might you be getting animals? Fishing, exactly. There's rivers all over the place throughout Tidewater, Virginia, and there's a big bay, Chesapeake Bay. So the Powhatan are going to be setting up these nets. You might have noticed the nets on your way in, kind of by the door. The nets are going to be used kind of as weirs to lure the fish into traps and into shallows. And from those traps and those shallows, the Powhatan might be able to spearfish them out with fishing spears. There was one in there, but it's kind of hidden, so you might not have seen it. But it's kind of like a wooden stick with a spike in the middle and two prongs sticking out on the side with barbs coming in. And the Powhatan will be able to catch large fish that way. They also use crabs and oysters and all kinds of other delectable seafood. But for the Powhatan, that's going to take place generally in the spring and through the summer. So you have a very seasonal time of where you're going to be getting these foods. That coupled with some nuts and berries and other grains that might be gathered throughout the mid-mix, you have a very seasonal but well-balanced diet. But you need to have a way to kind of preserve that food, keep it for a later period of time. And the Powhatan don't have refrigerators, so how might they be able to do that? How might they preserve their food? Yeah, smoking it, exactly. Someone mentioned there was a fire in the middle of that house. that house is going to have a fire in it at all times. Powhatan will smoke and dry their meats and their fish on a smoking rack, kind of like the one up back there. It's kind of hard to see for some of you folks, but you'll get a chance to see it when we go over there. Over here. But they'll smoke and dry their meats and their fish and preserve them, and then store them in that house, in that smoky fire layer, because it kind of layers out about here height or so. So you're not going to spend a whole lot of time standing up in that house or living in the house like you or I might. You'll use it for sleeping and for storage, and then come out and do a lot of those other activities you might think of, such as cooking outside. So let's take a quick look at the kitchen over here, where you'll prepare all that food.